Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have something exciting coming up just for you. In my last video about yogurt production and A to Z of yogurt business, I poured out my heart into that video and I am very happy with the response that I have gotten from most of you. Even a ton and number of you came directly to my WhatsApp DM to even ask further questions as if the comment section is not enough. And I sincerely do appreciate you for that because it shows your willingness to learn. And I'm always here to serve you better. Anything that will make you skyrocket your business in 2025 and also make and maximize profit. So I am in if your questions are based on my recipe, I am here to always answer you, okay? And that is why I intentionally dropped my direct WhatsApp number in the comment section so that you can reach me directly, okay? So today, I am going to be sharing a very yummy recipe with you in less than few minutes. But before that, I want to clear the air on so many questions in the comment section for the last yogurt recipe that I dropped. And the most occurring question in this comment section was about preservatives. Now, if you read about my channel in the description box, you will find out that this channel is all about healthy recipes. Now, am I saying that those that use preservatives are not making their productions or products healthy? No. Everybody have their own style, and my style is to do it extremely healthy. And for that reason, I do not use synthetic preservatives whatsoever. But for you that have kept on asking these questions repeatedly, just to satisfy your curiosity and to answer your question, the good news is that there is a preservative for your yogurt. And the basic one that I know about is your sodium benzoate, okay? And for application, you can introduce sodium benzoate into your yogurt with the ratio of 1 gram to 1 liter. Okay, so 1 gram of sodium benzoate per 1 liter of yogurt. So you would do your calculation and know how to double or multiply it depending on the quantity of yogurt you are producing. Okay, so another question that kept reoccurring is can this recipe be divided, can it be divided, or stuff like that. And the good news is, just like I answered in the comment section, this recipe can be divided. And to prove that, I am going to show you half of the recipe. Okay, so immediately after this introduction, I'll be making alongside with you, or rather we will be making half of the recipe that I dropped earlier for your business. Okay, and in addition to that, because this question also reoccurred, is how do you sweeten your yogurt? Now, that is a part that I am particularly excited to share because it is not the regular, and it is going to keep you glued to your screen. Okay, so you want to watch this video to the end in order to know how I sweeten my yogurt, because I assure you it is something that you have never seen. So prepare to be wowed. Now, for everyone else that is asking, how do I personally preserve my yogurt? The answer is simple: refrigerator. Okay, so you do not freeze your yogurt. So do not freeze, don't use freezer. And if you must use freezer, you should learn how to regulate your freezer. What do I mean by that? Know when to on it, know when to off it, so that your yogurt don't get frozen. Why should your yogurt not get frozen? Now, whenever your yogurt freezes and defreezes, it tends to lose its consistency. Okay, you will notice that it will lose its thickness. So that's naturally what happens after your yogurt freezes and defreezes. If you doubt me, scoop out a part of your yogurt, allow it to freeze, and then defreeze it. You will notice that it will thaw. Automatically, it will reduce the consistency of your yogurt. Okay, it will not be as thick as it was before it got frozen. Okay, so your yogurt should just be refrigerated and not frozen. Okay, so you're going to learn with me in this video how I make half of the exact recipe that I gave you for your business. For those that just want to use this at home, maybe you don't want to make up to the quantity I posted initially for your business. And also, if you are asking, can this recipe be multiplied? Of course, if it can be divided, it can be multiplied. It's as simple as that. Now, just know the exact recipe. That is why you need to go watch the A to Z of how to start a yogurt business. Watch that video. It will give you first the baseline, okay? Because I poured out my heart in that video. Of course, I always do pour out my heart when I am teaching. So even in this video, I would definitely pour out my heart to it, because the intention of this video is to answer more of your questions, okay? So guys, let's get right into it. Let's make half of that recipe. Let's sweeten this yogurt together. And there are two basic ways that I sweeten my yogurt. I'm going to teach you just one in this video, and in my next video I'll be teaching you two different things, and they are very, very exciting. How to make your drinking yogurt. I know you might be, is it all about Greek yogurt? No, we also make drinking yogurt, and in that video I'll be showing you the other way I sweeten my yogurt, and also how to get another flavor of yogurt. Exciting, right? Now, after this video, subscribe to this channel and then patiently wait on us, because we keep bringing more and more exciting videos as the day goes by. Who is excited about this? Now let's get right into it, okay? Before we start making this batch of yogurt, I want to take out my time to send out loves from Nigeria to Fiora and Comfort. Thank you so much for engaging with us, and we hope to see you around more often. So, like the first step of making yogurt is your sterilization. So I always sterilize my equipment with hot water, okay? So I also mentioned this in my other video, that is the A to Z of yogurt business. And this particular video, I'm making it due to high demand, popular demand, okay? So, like I said, a lot of people have been asking, can the recipe be divided, and stuff like that. And that is what prompted this video. And secondly, the fact that a lot of people are interested in how I sweeten my yogurt, which was not part of the other business, other video that I made about yogurt production and business. So this video is intentional and it is different from the first one. So if you've not watched the first one, you need to go back and watch it, because I was detailed in everything about business. While the second one, in as much as I'm going to be detailed, but the step by step, names of the process and everything, I won't take my time to dive into that, because I have already, given the details in the other video. So I'm going to drop the link in the description box. Do well to watch it, because that's like a part one, or maybe like a basic. So you need that basic knowledge in order to, understand what we are doing here. Okay. So the link will be in the description. Do well to, get that as well. So after I'm done with my sterilization, the next thing I'm going to be doing is measurement. Okay, measurement. And then in the first video, that's the A to Z of yogurt business. In that video, I used the full recipe, which is 1000 grams of milk to 3000 grams of water. But for those who are not in business, that seems like two big figures, to be used for production. So a lot of people were asking if the recipe can be divided. So the answer is yes. And today I'm going to be doing half of that recipe, which is 500 grams of milk to 1500 grams of water. Okay, so like I mentioned, this is lacto rich milk, and a lot of people are asking, how can I get this milk? The answer is simple, is in the market. And lacto rich milk is one milk that is versatile, so you can find it in any state in Nigeria. I don't know about outside the country, but lacto-rich milk. But if you can't find lacto-rich milk, maybe you're in the diaspora, okay? So what you can do is to look for Dano milk or any full cream or full fat milk. That will make your yogurt for you perfectly. But if you are in Nigeria, I believe you can get lacto-rich milk anywhere in Nigeria. Okay, so look for lacto-rich milk. That is what I use. If you want to do what I do, so lacto-rich milk is what I also always use, and it is very, very cost effective. Okay, like you can see, it was from nylon, so they retail it like the way they retail rice and beans. Literally, they sell it in pints and half pints, so you understand how commercial it is, and it is the best milk I've used for yogurt. Creaminess check, quantity check, cost effectiveness check, like everything and more, sincerely. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to measure my water. And like you all know, we have two waters. We use two water in making our yogurt. Why? What do I mean by two water? Water one is the cold water, not cold literally. What I by cold, I mean room temperature water. And then water two will be your hot water. When I mean hot water, I mean boiling hot water. Okay, so because the two water put together should weigh 1,500 grams, so half of it, which is water one, should be 750, and the other half should be 750, the boiling water. Okay, but put together both of them should be 1,500 grams. Okay, so someone mentioned in the other video that the measurements were too complex, and I believe that it was because I was mixing and dividing and all that, and maybe it seemed so complex for the person. But in this one, it's going to be what straightforward. Okay, so I've divided the water into two. Now I've measured water one, and it is boiling right now while I'm measuring water two. Okay, so these are another 750 grams, and if you put both of them together, it's going to make up what 1,500 grams, which we'll be using for 500 grams of milk. Okay, so it is actually very, very much possible to divide the recipe, and it will give you the same exact result. So if you don't want to do the 1,000 grams of milk, you can do the 500 grams of milk. If you don't want to do the 500 grams of milk, you can do the 250 grams of milk. The most important thing is to understand the um ratio of milk to water, and you are good to go. Okay, so while the hot water is boiling, I'm going to be mixing in the milk into the water too, which is the cold water, or rather room temperature water. Okay, so if you've watched this video to this point, please like, subscribe, share. Someone else might need this, and this production is very, very cost effective and business friendly. You're going to make your profit using this recipe, believe me. So you want to mix in the milk into the water and make sure that it completely dissolves. Okay, and even though it doesn't dissolves, then you don't need to worry about it, because sincerely I don't expect it to dissolve completely, because as in this is milk to cold water, so don't panic if you still have lumps. That is the reason why we are going to sieve. Okay, so that's the reason why we are going to sieve. So if you're wondering why the video is long, I promise I'm going to give you value for your time, because this is something that you can as well purchase with money, but I am giving it out free of charge. Okay, so if the video is not this long, then you might as well not get the value that I am giving. You understand? So I'm intentional about not, cutting the video here and there, and then at the end of the day, you're not even getting value from the little time that you spent with us. Okay, so I cut where necessary, and where is not necessary, I spend my time to educate you on what you need to know. Okay,
So at this point, I have mixed in all the milk into the cold water, like the room temperature water. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, if you still have some lumps, it is fine. It is fine. Normally, if you put milk in water that is not hot water, it will not dissolve completely. Okay, so there's still tendency of having lumps, and that is why you sieve. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you the sieving now. So this is it. Okay, so you can see, just pour in your milk through a sieve, and that will be just it. Okay, and I always recommend that whatever sieve that you're using, whatever plastic containers, whatever containers that you're using to make your yogurt, that you should avoid using it for other things, just to avoid cross contamination. Okay, to avoid cross contamination. And before you make any batch of yogurts, always sterilize your tools. Okay, so you can see these are the lumps that I got from this batch. So, and if you're wondering what to do with your lumps, or the lumps of the milk, let me not say your lumps. Okay, if you're wondering what to do with it, just when the process of boiling the hot water, just dissolve it and sieve it through into your milk, and it will be just fine. Okay, and if you don't want to go through that route, you can always discard it. Okay, you can always discard it. So when the hot water is ready, you just pour it into the milk and water mixture. Okay, so this process is very, very beginner friendly. Why do I say so? I see some people boiling their milk, and they will get it to a certain temperature, and then they will bring it down, stuff like that. There is always risk of overboiling for a beginner. Okay, so but with this method, you are safe. Okay, boil your water, mix your milk, transfer the hot water into the milk mixture, and then allow it to get warm. So you're not allowing it to get cold, you're just allowing it to warm up a bit, because you still need that temperature. Okay, you still need it to be warm in order for the yogurt to ferment. Okay, in order for the yogurt to ferment, so you still need that temperature. So you are not allowing it to go cold completely. Okay, so you need that warmth. So you check it by dropping the milk at the back of your palm, just like I am doing. And if you can tolerate the heat, counting 10, then it is good to go. Alternatively, you can check it by dipping your index finger into the milk and count from 1 to 10. So if you cannot tolerate the heat, then it is still hot enough to kill your probiotics, which are the good cultures. Okay, so if, or rather the good bacteria. So if you can tolerate the milk at the back of your hand, or using your index finger, or both, then it is warm enough to introduce your starter culture. And I use Mitch and K. Okay, so I use Mitch and K, and these are the reasons. One, it has low fat. Two, it has high protein. So you can see it written on the body. It has high protein, it has no preservatives, and it has 100% natural, as in it's 100% natural. So more than just eating yogurt, eating good yogurt is the key. Okay, eating good yogurt is the key. So for people that are keen on weight loss, you can use this yogurt. Okay, so you can use this yogurt. But if you are on a weight gain journey, so you could as well look for another starter that is high in calorie and stuffs like that. Okay, high in fat content, stuffs like that. So I always use Mitch and K first because of its properties. Okay, you always hear me say that, well, however your starter is what you're introducing to your own batch of yogurt. So you can see how thick this yogurt is. Okay, you can see how thick it is. So in as much as we've made this recipe reduce the water so much so that it can make your batch of yogurt to come out thick even without sieving, but the starter or the culture medium that you're introducing to it also would also help the texture of your yogurt, so you can see how thick this yogurt is. So I have no doubt that my own yogurt would actually come out thick. You can see, you can see. So another thing is that this Mitch and K, I love the flavor it gives to my yogurt. So some people were asking in my other video, what flavors do you use? The truth is that I don't use any flavors. Sincerely, I do not. If I use flavors, I will put it out here. There is no need gatekeeping. I do not gatekeep. What I do is what you see on camera. Okay, so I just use 5 spoons. Okay, some people were telling me to be specific. So in that other video, because I did 1000 grams of milk, I used about 10 spoons, but because for this 500 grams of milk, I'm using 5 spoons. Okay, those 5 spoons will give you thick yogurt, a very thick yogurt. So there are 2 things to consider to give you thick yogurt, to make your yogurt thick. First is reduction of water, which will harmonize and make this recipe in such a way that the water is good enough for you not to sieve. Okay, it would accommodate your yogurt, and without sieving it to be very, very thick. Second thing to consider is the strength of your culture medium. Okay, so because the culture medium is the yogurt that we whatever is in the culture medium is what you're introducing to your batch of yogurt. So always have that in mind while choosing your starter culture, in as much as when you go to choose, you read through and choose the yogurt that has live cultures in it. Just like this Mitch and A, you will see it has live cultures in it. But aside that, that is just one of the other several reasons of choosing your starter. Aside that, you should choose starter cultures that resonate with your aim. So I am not on a weight gain journey, so because my husband is on a weight loss journey, I use this medium. And also because I need this yogurt to be very healthy, I'm selling to a number one of people. So I actually need this yogurt to be healthy for them. Okay, so I'm using this yogurt that is not is friendly for weight loss people. Okay, and also has high protein content, because a lot of yogurt out there actually has low protein, but this one has high protein. So here I'm just showing you that this yogurt minus the container, so this batch will give me 2 liters of yogurt. That's why I'm seeing 2309 grams. Okay, so minus the container, the weight of the container, this should be around 2000 plus, which is actually like 2 liters thereabout. Okay, so for those that are asking what's the quantity of yogurt that you get from this, what's the quantity of yogurt, so for that first recipe, which is 1000 grams of milk, it will give you what, 4 liters of yogurt. That's 2 of this batch, that's 2 of this container. Okay, while one, that is half of the recipe, which is what I did today, because of those that are saying, can the recipes be divided? So you can see that it can be divided, and it gave me 2 liters of yogurt. Now you're going to prepare your culture medium or your incubator. Okay, so for me, I use the cooler I have in my house, lined it with my blanket, and then put this thick nylon, and then I'm now going to drop the yogurt inside it. So the aim is just for you to, create will I say, a home that would make the yogurt retain its temperature, so that when it's done culturing for 18 hours, that is still going to be warm, so that the probiotics will not die, the cultures, that is the good bacteria, will not die, and it's the whole of the environment will not go cold, and then the probiotics would also die. So it's either the temperature is hot when the probiotics will die, or the this what kills the probiotics is actually a hot or a too cold medium. Okay, so it needs like a warm medium. So that is just the aim of everything. So right about now, I'm going to drop this in my kitchen counter and make sure that nobody goes to shake it for 18 hours. So you want to leave this uninterrupted for 18 hours. Okay, so another thing that makes your yogurt fail is that the fermentation process gets interrupted. Okay, so you want to leave this uninterrupted for 18 good hours. So we are going to be showing you this after 18 hours. So 18 hours later, this is what we have. Okay, so bring this out with me. So I'll just unwrap or unbox, or just bring this out of the my cooler. Okay, so you can see that yogurt production is something, is a business that you can start with almost nothing. You don't need to buy any special equipment. Just get yourself some containers, buy your milk, buy your starter, and yogurt is here. You are well in business. I believe you should have refrigerator in your home, because you need a refrigerator for this business. Okay, don't even mind the fact that I'm using mixer to like mix my yogurt. This, you can do it manually with an egg whisk. Okay, so just that this makes the process faster for me. But if you don't have this, you can use your egg whisk and do this as manual as possible. It is very, very cost effective. You don't need to rob a bank to do yogurt business, to do parfait business, whatever business in line with yogurt production. The only active capital you need is to buy your milk, your culture medium, and then your container sieve. And that those things you have it at home, just that you want to make some, like the special ones that you'll be using for your yogurt, just to reduce the risk of cross contamination, which actually tends to spoil your yogurt by introducing bacteria that you don't want. Okay, so this is it. So I'm going to show you how thick this yogurt is, so you can see. Oh god, you see how lush, how creamy, how thick. When I mean thick, I mean extremely thick this yogurt is. So you can see there is no need. You can't even sieve any water out of this, because you won't even see any water to sieve. So save yourself that stress. There is no need of pouring too much water inside your yogurt and then now sieve it out as way after it's fermented. So you don't need that stress. Save yourself the stress by even reducing the water. So that is how I formulated this recipe, and it's been working perfectly for me. Okay, because it's still these 2 liters of yogurt that you will still get. Okay, so you can see I intentionally scooped it down to the base, so that you can see that there is no water there. So there is no water there. Okay, so you can see it, you can see the yogurt. See, this recipe is gold. Cherish it, cherish it. So you can see down to the base, and there is nothing like water. Your Greek yogurt perfectly formed. And if you taste this yogurt now, it does not slap, it's not tangy at all, because of the taste of the starter that I use. That Michanke actually works for me. It works for me. It's the reason I don't use it's the reason I don't use flavors. So it helps me make my yogurt even more healthier. There is no synthetic flavors whatsoever in my Greek yogurt. Okay, so if you are keen on your health and you don't want to use so much synthetic flavors and that, choose Mitch and K as your Greek yogurt. But if you just want to make yogurt and then everything is fine, you can choose any other starter cultures with live and active cultures. Okay, so I'm not limiting the knowledge I'm giving you to Mitch and K, because I know that in some places you might not get it, although Mitch and K is sold across Nigeria. So I believe if you look for it, you will find it in malls, supermarkets. Okay, you can find it ShopRite, Market Square. You will find it. Mitch and K is vast, and some private shopping malls also. Supermarkets, you can find it there, because sometimes if I don't get mine in real supermarkets, I get it in just other supermarkets nearby the street. Okay, so I stay in Lagos. So if you're in any other state, I believe you can get it, because they have other shop outlets, and you can google it, Mitch and K distributors, and it will show you the shop closest to you where you can buy it. So this is me just trying to mix the yogurt. Okay, so you can do this with your hand wicks like I said earlier. And for those that are asking questions about preservatives, I hope I cleared you in the introduction of this video. And then if this is the first time you're coming across to this channel or watching my yogurt video, then I want to refer you back to the first edition of, or where this whole thing started. So that class is going to give you like a base knowledge, and also help you understand the process and what it's all called. Okay, so if you've watched that first one and you're watching this, you would understand better. So you might not have some questions to ask, and those that have watched that first one and then this is them coming back to watch this video, they would understand better, in the sense that this is like me answering questions. Okay, so the first one was more like me teaching the business of yogurt. Okay, the first one I was teaching the business of yogurt proper, but this second one is more like me answering questions. So you can see how creamy it is now. It's no longer lumpy. And if you are saying, okay, this looks quite worthy to me, then you just have to take a chill pill, because at this point this yogurt is still warm. Okay, so after smoothing your yogurt, what you need to do next is to refrigerate it. Okay, and I don't sweeten my yogurt at this point. I know that some people sweeten their yogurt at this point, but for me, I don't get the actual taste of the yogurt at this point because it's still warm. So I need it to chill up, so that when I sweeten it, I can be sure that okay, this is the actual sweetener that I need, because there is no specific measurement I use to sweeten. I just taste as I go. Okay, so because I'm just giving this disclaimer, because some people will not come and start asking me, how many spoons did you use, how many cups did you use? Please, there is no accurate, let me not say accurate, because it's always accurate after doing it. So there is no specific measurement that I wrote down for the amount of sweetener that I used. And if you've watched this video to this point, this is the point to like, subscribe and share, because it's not easy to take out 42 minutes and counting educating you on yogurt production. Okay, so many people cut their videos even before it gets to 20 minutes, but over here we are not trying to save data or just give out part information. I would show you everything until the very last, before, even if this video ends in 2 hours and you get your value, I am very, very satisfied, because that is the number one reason I am here, to educate you, and to do that with all my heart. Okay, so please subscribe to this channel right now. So right about now, I'm just going to show you again the weight of this yogurt. Okay, because a lot of people were like, what quantity of yogurt do you get from this batch? Even though I showed you this before incubation, but now that we are done mixing, after the kineko, like, I want you to see, so you can see 2,132, and this is minus the weight of the bowl. Okay, so before we incubated, it was 2,300 and something, but you know that now we've mixed, you can see the bowl I used to mix, there's some yogurt particles left, plus and minus all those things, you still have your 2 liters of yogurt. So that is what I want to, the aim of showing you this part of the video. so that you will know that plus and minus everything, at the end of the day you still end up with your 2 liters of yogurt. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to pop this up into my refrigerator. So I'm using a freezer because that's what I have, but once I have yogurt inside my freezer, I'm very intentional with regulating the temperature. So if the freezer is cold enough, I just off it, so that my yogurt will not freeze. And for reasons that I mentioned earlier in the beginning of these videos, okay? So I have 2 ways of sweetening my yogurts, and I'll be showing you the 2 ways immediately this yogurt is cold enough. Okay, I'll show you the 2 ways. So just pop it up in your refrigerator, freezer, 2-3 hours, it will be cold enough. Okay, so I'll be teaching you these 2 ways when the yogurt is ready. Okay, so the 2 ways, I won't be teaching you the 2 ways, sorry, I'll be teaching you just one way, and in my next video I will be teaching you 2 ways. Okay, so I just had to clear the air so that you won't be asking, you said 2, why are you showing 1? So you can see this is after refrigerating. So you can see this is after refrigerating for 2-3 hours or even less. I didn't time, so this is it. So you can see that this yogurt actually has the properties of that Mitch and K that I used. Okay, in terms of the texture, you can see. So this is 2 liters of yogurt that I made from 500 grams of milk. Okay, 500 grams of milk, 1.5 grams of water. So this is my sweetener. Guys, this is my sweetener, condensed milk, and I want you to try it. So I hope that by now your curiosity is really high, because you won't see this anywhere. The Holy Spirit literally taught me this, and I tried it and it was perfect. So before now, I've been using the first way. So this is my luxury way of sweetening my yogurt, and that is the first one I decided to teach you. So if you don't want to use this way, there is a second way, but we are not going to be learning that in this video. Okay, we are going to be learning that in the next video. And the exciting thing about the next video is that I'm not going to be teaching you Greek yogurt. I'm going to be teaching you another entirely different kind of yogurt, and that is the drinking yogurt, the one you can just snack on. In as much as this one you snack on it, but the drinking yogurt is something that you can just grab, a pastry, and then you just water it down with the drinking yogurt, or like your quiet time drinking yogurt. So like I said, there is no particular measurement that I use for this. Okay, I taste as I go. So you saw me taste the first one. You saw me taste the first one after I added it. So this is me adding the second one, and I'm tasting it. Okay, so this is me adding and tasting until I get the taste that I desire. Okay, so more like eyeball it, let your taste bud do the judgment for you. Okay, so what if it's okay for you, is definitely going to be okay for your customers, believe me, because you should be your first critic. You should be your first critic. Okay, so this literally gives me like an ice cream kind of yogurt. Like it's it enhances the taste of the yogurt. Would I say it even kind of adds flavor to it, but it just makes the yogurt, it gives it a creamy feel in the mouth without this sharp sweet taste. You understand? So it's not sugary, it's just creamy. Like it makes you want more. It makes you want more. Like every spoon that you scoop into your mouth leaves you with this wonder of what is going on in here. Okay, so that is literally how you feel when you smoothen, or rather, sorry, when you sweeten with condensed milk. Sincerely, so wow, I'm actually surprised I ended up adding just 2 spoons of condensed milk to these 2 liters of yogurt. So don't let me be the judge of the amount of your sweetener. Okay, so just taste as you go. But wow, 2 spoons, so you can see you don't even need so much to get this luxury feel. So this is actually luxury, believe me. So when I found out this way of sweetening my yogurt, I discarded the first way, and that is the reason I am teaching you this way first. Okay, so in my next video I'm going to be teaching you the second way. That one you literally have to make your sweetener from the scratch. Okay, but this way comes in very handy. So I'm just going to assemble like a parfait for a quick snack for myself, so using the yogurt that we just made. So you can see how luxurious this yogurt. It's very, very luxurious. So I have my yogurt, and then I'm just going to add in these coconut flakes that I bought from the supermarket. Okay, so if you're new to this channel at this point, remember to like, subscribe and share. Okay, share. And if you've had person to watch this video to this point, make sure that the next thing you're going to be doing is to get all your ingredients and go to the market and start making this yogurt immediately, because your clients are going to love it. This is a good business idea. So the next thing I added is my granola, and the link to all this will be in my comment section, sorry, my description box. So the link to how I make my granola. This granola is actually TTC friendly. Okay, it's TTC friendly. It has lots of nuts in there, believe me. So the next thing I added is my pumpkin seed and then my sesame seed. Have you heard about seed cycling? Should I make a video about seed cycling? Are there TTC moms watching me? Then if you want me to make a video about seed cycling, then I would as well do that for you, because it will help your fertility process and everything, and help you conceive faster. Okay, so you can see that this parfait is not the ordinary. There is a lot going in here, and it is TTC friendly. So guys, thank you for watching. See you next time. This is another one I made using chia seed, and it's very healthy.